Hi, it's Reverend Rich here, coming to you from a train. Yes, coming to you from a roomette on an Amtrak train, and it is All Saints. And I'm thrilled to join you for this discussion because All Saints is important to me. It's a really sacred time in our calendar where we remember those who came before us and maybe those who might still be with us who have been as saints to us. In the Protestant church, we think of saints a little differently, where they don't need to have the official endorsement of a pope to be a saint. The saints of our lives can just be those who have been there for us, who have guided us and instructed us and maybe loved us when we weren't at our most lovable, or saw potential in us and were patient enough to nurture that potential to reality. And number one, forgive the hat and t-shirt, but I'm traveling, and this is about as fancy as it gets while I'm traveling on the train. So it's apropos that I am where I'm at. As of early this morning, passed through Ohio and Pennsylvania, and now I'm heading into West Virginia. And this is where my people are from. My mother's family are Ohio people. My dad's family are Pennsylvania and West Virginia people. And so as we talk about our saints, it is pretty cool that right now I'm passing through country where my saints, my ancestors, were generations back. And some of the saints in my lives are my ancestors, my grandparents who sent me on the path of being United Methodist, who instilled in me a love of others. Both of my grandfathers had enormous hearts. My father's mother had a great work ethic. My mother's mother, Helen, was one of the pillars of her United Methodist Church. And so I think a lot of the saints of my lives, in turn, my grandparents live on in me, of which I'm deeply grateful. And so the saints of our lives, I want to point out, are not like, they don't have to have performed miracles. Like in the Catholic Church, that's one of the criteria to become a saint. But in the Protestant Church, we think of saints more like everyday saints, of people who are with us and love us and guide us and do the small things with great love that make a difference in this world. And so on this day of All Saints, I think it's important that I'm on a train, which sounds weird, but I got to thinking last night as I lay there, not sleeping because it was rough tracks and it's very difficult to sleep, that I didn't lay the tracks that I'm riding on, right? You know, like somebody before me worked hard and laid these tracks for us to be able to get where we're going. And I think that's a good metaphor for the saints of our lives. It's those who have laid the tracks, who have gone before us and done things that make our lives easier, make our lives better. And I bet we have a lot of them. I have friends from my college days who I consider saints, even though, blessedly, they haven't passed on, but they loved me when I wasn't at my best and saw potential in me. I have saints from all the churches that I've served and who have just been presences of grace and love in that community and for me. And so for All Saints Sunday, this isn't going to be a long message, in part because I haven't slept in like 3 days, because sleeping on a train is very challenging if you're a light sleeper like I am. So the longer I go, the greater the chance that I'm going to start to ramble and repeat myself, and nobody wants that. So, but I invite you to call to mind at some point this week while you're having a quiet moment, as you're driving somewhere, just turn off the radio, or while you're sipping on a cup of tea or something like that, to call to mind the saints of your lives and just speak their name in your mind or out loud very quietly, and just give thanks for those who have loved you, guided you in the faith, nurtured you in the good path, the good road. And if they're still around, send them a letter of thanks. But if they're not, I'm sure they hear this anyway. The beauty of our faith is, one of the beliefs is that we are surrounded by the saints at all times. And so even though I'm on this train, I mean, not all by myself, there's people all around me, but I'm traveling by myself, that one of our beliefs is that the saints are with us. And so in that way, I'm on this trip with many others who have helped gotten me to this place, not just on the train, but to this place in my life, and I'm deeply grateful. So for All Saints, call these people to mind, speak their names, give words of thanks to them and thanks to God for the gift of them to your life. I hope you're well, my friends. Next week, we are starting a worship series called Neither Here Nor There, where we're talking about what it means to be in exile, what it means to be not home and not yet where we're going, which is also kind of my experience right now on a train. But I think it's important because a lot of times in our lives we are unsettled about where we're at, and it's a very anxious, fear-inducing place, and yet it is also a very sacred place and an important place for us to be present in sometimes. And so that'll be next week. But for this week, All Saints, may you be blessed. May the saints of your lives live large in your memories, and be kind to yourselves and be excellent to each other. And I will see you soon.